Alright guys, this is tester video number 2 for the Gem Knights. On the first one, we tried to burn our opponents for game. We were short by 500. So actually, I think I've potentially fixed it. I'm not honestly sure. You can base it on, this or that. But this is something that I wanted to try and see exactly what we could work with. So, this is tester video number 2. We have our Black Garden, which, like I said, it produced tokens. One of the best things about this card is when your opponent plays, their board will be spammed full of tokens to the point where they actually cannot play in the proper way that they want to unless they can actually remove the tokens enough to where, like I said, they will work with certain decks. Sky Strikers messes them up. Salamangreat kind of messes them up too. So, getting to the combo. Anyway, we got this time we're going to go for our Lone Fire. I mean, like I said, you're gonna get the same result no matter what. So, in this case, Lone Fire would go into this one. And like I said, we would have our one monster. We would have our one card. That wouldn't be the one card. Sorry. Okay, this will be the one card. That would be the monster card that you'd need for this situation. So you'd send that to the graveyard, and then you would search for your one Darling Cobra, which, wow, that's a lot easier. Okay. So currently we have 2 tokens. Black Garden produces a token every time that you summon a monster. So, next thing we're going to do is search for our amazing and awesome fusion card, Brilliant Fusion. That we have a 1 copy of, but the Predaplants can make it work too, tentatively. I'm not honestly saying it's workable always, but it can be. So, what you're going to do next is you're going to play your Brilliant Fusion, and then you're going to go into... Last time we made a mistake, and we went for Tourmaline. We're going for Lapis this time. Why are we going for Lapis? We're going for Lapis so that way we can get the ability to burn immediately, because we don't want to mess around. We want to go for what we need to get going right away. So, excuse me. Can't speak for the life of my throat. Okay, so next what we're gonna do, because we sent 3 cards. Oh, I think actually that's okay. Oh, there we go. Let's just put that one back. Then we're gonna go for excuse me, our copy of Lady Brilliant Diamond. When it's summoned, or actually not when it's summoned, but while it's on the field, you can tribute a Gem Knight monster or send 1 Gem Knight monster from your field to the graveyard to Fusion 1 without even having to use a Fusion spell for it. So, for this card right here, we're going to pick that back up by this card's effect. So this will go back to hand. Next, we currently have, I want to say 3 tokens right now. So then we're going to turn Lady Brilliant Diamond into Seraphonite. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to summon this. Alright. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to link 2. The link 2 will be the one and only... Where are you at? Sorry. Phantom Quartz. Phantom Quartz. So, currently right now we have a total of, I want to say 5. This is how you easily spam the token board with the 1 card. You get the 1, the 2, the 3, the 2 previous monsters, which are these 2 fusion monsters. So that's 5. 5 spammed on the field, on your opponent's side of the field. Next thing you can do is you can do this many different ways. Phantom Quartz has an ability to fuse back from the graveyard to fuse to make it into something that you need. So for this specific instance, we're gonna do this way, and like I said, it's based off of what I think. I don't really know if that's the best idea or not. So, Phantom Quartz. It has a ability to search out this thing. And then you can fuse from this area with his effect. Pay 1,000. So what we're going to do next is we're going to try and... Okay. I want to say we want to try and go into Prismura, but realizing it now, I'm going to reiterate. In this specific instance, we're going to be using Tourmaline. So actually, in this situation, Tourmaline would be better. So for that situation, you can use this one and this one. So these two go back, and you're going to go into this guy. Right? So this is what we got so far. We've got, at this point, currently 5 monsters on the field. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to link these two. And we do not have this card. Actually, we could use a substitute for this card, which is Reproduce 6, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And you could also use Binary Sorcerers for this case. So you link 3, 1, 2, and 3. This is where things, unfortunately, get very chancy. Let's roll this back for a quick moment. Because realizing it now that we could actually go for Gemini Fusion instead, because there's a reason why you want to go for certain cards. So in that case, we will link 3 into Curious. Curious hits the field. Curious has an effect that will search for it'll mill 1 from the deck to the grave. And our 1 is going to be Block Dragon. So Block Dragon is in grave. Next effect is going to be the effect to mill 3 off the Curious on top. 1, 2, 3. Again, in this specific situation, I'm just going to use cards that in some cases I don't actually have right now, because I should technically have it, but I don't. So for this specific situation, we don't care that you mill these, right? There's a reason why we don't care that you mill these. So the reason why we don't care that you mill these is because we're gonna go banish Reproduces, banish that guy, banish, I want to say Phantom Quartz, to get your 3 for the summon a Block Dragon. When Block Dragon hits the field, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to link 2 into our good old trusty buddy. Like I said, this is one of those ones where I actually don't have it, but, you know, help you out a lot. Saryuja. Alright. Now, for the next part of the combo. The next part of the combo would be you would get Block Dragon's ability to search for 3 rocks. So, the 3 rocks you're going to be searching for is 1 of that. I mean, there's many ways you could actually do this, because you actually already have Lapis in Graveyard, but Lapis actually would be one of another thing. So, you could search for that. In that case, that's honestly what I would do. I would search for that. And the next card you would search for is Crystal Rose. If I can find it. Don't mind me. Things are all a mess right now. Okay. Here's that. That's 1. And here's Crystal Rose. These are 3. Alright, so mess of a situation. This is Saryuja. Saryuja says that as long as you have, I want to say, as long as you, well, none of its effects really actually come into play. Its 2 effect would come into play, but not really. So for this situation, you can, you can go into, I want to say, I can't even speak. You would go into this guy. Send these 2 to the grave. And Obsidian would trigger because there's something in grave. So let's just use this normal monster as a fodder for this situation. Okay, so this is your field right now. The next thing we're going to do is the cool part. You're going to banish the lady to activate the effect of Crystal Rose. Okay, so this is your field right now. Okay. Next thing, we're going to banish Gemnite Fusion. We're going to activate Fusion's effect. Fuse these. We're going to fuse these into this. Okay. So, this is our hand. This is our field. We haven't activated Crystal Rose just yet. We can activate Rose if you want to right now and send one Lazuli from the deck to the graveyard. So all you have to do is just search your deck. As you can see, I'm kind of a mess right now. Trying to find this. Let's see. Okay, I think... Okay. Okay, here we go. We'll send that to the grave. Alright, so here's the deal. That goes to the grave. And you would burn for a total of, I want to say, 1, 2, 3. And your opponent has 5, so it's 4,000. Alright? So here we are. We're at our 4,000 that we need to make our play doable. Really? What are you doing? Okay. Okay, so as it stands, you would have the ability to search from your graveyard and you would pick up your normal monster. Okay. Next thing's next. You can recruit the Gemnite Fusion, and then we can have, I want to say this is our hand. Well, this technically would be our hand. So all you would need at this point, because like I said, once you've milled with Lady, you'll pick this back up to hand, and then you'll activate the effect of Rose to send one, and then add that back to hand. So then you'll fuse these 3 monsters for your finishing combo, which is our Master. Master will be able to put the final amount of damage on the board. So we actually did figure it out in part 2. And if you are watching this, thanks for watching this. I really appreciate it. But this is the best way to do it, and I will tell you next video with a summary.